Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for keeping tuned at Smart 24 as we drive your business. Now, before we went into a break, we were still going through some of the stock market updates and what is happening on the stock market in terms of share price, which company is gaining, which company is losing, so you know exactly as a shareholder where to put your money in terms of investment. We talked about National Insurance Corporation, and National Insurance Corporation has not had any changes, significant changes in share price over the past 24 hours, trading at only 6.1 Uganda shillings. Remember, you can always get started with as little as this money. So with 6,000 shillings, you can acquire 1,000 shares in National Insurance Corporation. So what are you waiting for? Get that SCD account and start investing in stocks, because with as little as 6,000, you can have 1,000 shares, or which is 1,000 pieces of National Insurance Corporation. Moving on to Nation Media Group. Nation Media Group yesterday was among the losers, losing by a margin of about 3.14 Uganda shillings, and now in this morning is trading at 633.62 Uganda shillings. The high and low prices have still been maintained at 633.62 Uganda shillings. The opening price this morning is still the same, 633.62 Uganda shillings. That's Nation Media Group right there. Later on in the news, we'll be seeing that Nation Media Group is venturing into some digital assets and other things concerning digital transactions right there, so that you can access more about them digitally. Now moving on to New Vision Printing and Publishing Company is trading currently at 155, and that has been the share price, I think, for a very, very long time right there at New Vision Printing and Publishing Company Limited. Moving on to Stanbic Bank Uganda. Stanbic Bank Uganda is trading at 23 Uganda shillings, and that hasn't changed that much for the past couple of hours. And as well, its high and low prices have been at 23 Uganda shillings. Remember, Stanbic Bank recently was one of the companies that was ranked among the top 250 African companies in terms of market capitalization. That is the value of its shares. TN Uganda as well ranked in there, just above Stanbic. And other couple of companies will be also looking into later on the program. Uganda Clays Limited was among the losers last night, losing by a margin of 0.9 Uganda shillings, and this morning is trading at 18.1 Uganda shillings. So with only 18 cents, you can get yourself a unit of ownership at Uganda Clays. And of course, the highest and lowest prices over the past 24 hours have still been maintained at 18.1 Uganda shillings. Wumeme Limited is currently trading at 240.00 Uganda shillings. So at only 240, you access yourself shares in one of the companies that has distinguished itself over the past financial year, according to Bank of Uganda, as the top company with the highest turnover. That turnover is in terms of market capitalization and in terms of transactions that have traded on the stock exchange. So Wumeme Uganda Limited is a profitable company, and it's a good company for you to actually venture into if at all you're looking at investing in the stock markets. Remember, my advice is relative and it's not profound, so you may take it or leave it. I just advise you to actually get started with saving and investing, so as you can get that money to make you a little bit more money. Now, away from those stocks and the prices that we have looked at, we look at our top stories that are trending on the, in terms of the financial markets. And our first story is on NSSF. Now, NSSF is as a pension scheme, national pension scheme of Uganda, declared that according to the NSSF Act of 2021, that people were able to access mid-term, their midterm loans, and they can be able to actually access half of that. That is up to 20% of their savings, so long as they have saved with the institution for over the past 10 years and have that share in pension scheme. Now, more than half of the total savers eligible for the National Social Security Fund midterm benefits have applied for their 20% 3 months since the exercise began. Data shared from the NSSF Managing Director, Mr. Richard Biaruhanga, on Monday indicates that 21,278 applications have so far been received, and a total of 41,174 who are 45 years and above have made 120 contributions, are eligible to receive midterm funds. Now, NSSF started disbursing the funds on March 7th. Of the total applications, 20,156 claimants have been paid 414.1 billion, while 686 are awaiting payment of over 16.1 billion. Also, 176 applicants or applications were cancelled, while 263 were not yet in the system for payment. So more beneficiaries have applied manually as opposed to using the mobile and online platforms. The current eligible savers, 20% benefits add up to 793 billion. According to NSSF, the number and funds required is expected to increase as more savers tick the eligibility criteria. Consequently, the fund earmarked a 1 trillion Uganda shillings for payment of the midterm benefits under Section 20A of the National Social Security Fund Act, Amendment Act 2021, which grants members who are 45 years and have contributed for 10 years to access 20% of their accrued benefits. A person with a disability who is 40 years as well and has contributed for 10 years can also access half of their benefits. Now, but the trend now reveals those seeking the cash have significantly dropped compared to the early days when there thousands of applications were received daily, and on average only about 50 applications are received daily, Mr. Biaruhanga revealed. And on the data chart of May 23rd, only 46 applicants came in that day. Now, the amendment. During Labor Day celebrations at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds, the Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development, Ms. Betty Amongi, said they had agreed to amend the NSSF Act to cater for the more than 85,000 inconsistent and inactive members who had been in the fund for 10 years but did not have 120 contributions as prescribed by the statutory instrument. Minister Amongi revealed the new bill was ready, awaiting presentation to Cabinet yesterday. The Ministry Permanent Secretary, Mr. Agre Chibenge, without divulging details, said the processes were on course. That is a story right there coming in from NSSF. And remember, the National Social Security Fund is a pension scheme that is based here in Uganda, where people save money concerning their retirement so that they can have something for them to retire to in case they are retiring. So this fund and scheme is saying we can actually part with 20% of your savings if you're 45 years and above and you have contributed to the scheme over at least the past 10 years of your life. So if you have that and you need that benefit, please run to NSSF, but use it wisely as well, because you can blow all that and it can go into nothing. So NSSF, if we can talk a little bit about NSSF, it is a national savings scheme mandated by government through the National Social Security Fund Act, CAP 222 laws of Uganda, to provide social security services to employees in Uganda. It was established by an act of parliament in 1985 to provide for its membership, payment of contributions to, and payment of benefits out of the fund. This is a provident fund paying out contributions in a lump sum. And for example, in the year 2015-2016 alone, the fund declared and paid an interest rate of about 12.3% to its members. Currently, NSSF is sitting on more than 6 trillion worth of assets. So the membership has grown from over 600,000 in 2015-2016, and it's dominating the pension sector in terms of investment and returns. The other schemes available are the Kasita scheme, which is a private scheme for traders enrolled in the Kasita Foundation, which is a traders association, and the Mazima, which were launched earlier in 2016 as well. Now, about a couple of months ago, we had that the NSSF Act amended. That act was amended, and according to Section 20A, people who are ages 45 and above can access their midterm, pension, savings to over 20%, right? And that is what is trending right there at NSSF. If at all you are a share, if at all you have been saving with NSSF for the past 10 years and you're 45 years and above, you can access yourself 20% of that saving, so it can probably redeem you. Still attached to NSSF, NSSF has earned 73.2 billion from its Umeme shares. Remember, whenever NSSF gets money from you, the public, or from you, the employees, it invests this money. And this year, NSSF is getting 73.2 billion worth of dividend in its shares with Umeme. Now, the National Social Security Fund will round off 10 years with a cumulative earning of 73.2 billion worth of dividends from its shares in Umeme. Dividend payment data obtained from the Umeme financial results during the 10-year period indicates NSSF earnings, which holds a majority shareholding of over 23.2%, have been increasing but experiencing decline in selected reporting periods. For instance, the fund earned about 1.6 billion in 2012, grew through the period to 6.9 billion in 2015. The earnings have since been growing, but experienced a sharp decline in 2020, and that is to 3.9 billion, and before rebounding to 17.4 billion in 2021. Now, this year, NSSF will be taking home 73.5 billion worth of 73.2 billion worth of dividends, and that is a story right there for you to follow. NSSF is one of the biggest investors in the stock market. That is in the Uganda Security Exchange. It has recently invested in quite many companies, including banks like Stanbic Bank, like KCB. It has invested in Equity Bank. It has also invested in companies like Umeme, Uganda Clays, and the like. And at the end of the year, it receives a dividend. And in Umeme this time, it's going to receive a dividend of 73.2 billion Uganda shillings right there. And this dividend will be shared out according to the pensioners. Those who are saving with the scheme, it will be shared out as interest in the scheme. So this is why we need to invest in stock markets, because they are this profitable. For institutions like NSSF to decide to invest in stocks, they see something in them, and this has helped actually build confidence of Ugandans to invest in the stocks, because if such institutions that are legalized, such corporate institutions that are legalized by law to keep people's money can actually decide to invest this money in stocks, it means they have seen something ahead. And so what are you waiting for? You can as well join the trail and invest in stock markets so that you can actually enjoy some of these benefits. NSSF has declared an average of about 12% for over the last 5 years, 12% interest on all the savings that are done with NSSF by the employees that are part of the scheme. So at the end of your working life, you will walk away with 12% interest on your pension savings if you have been saving with NSSF. Why? Because NSSF used that money to invest in some of these ventures. It not only invests in stocks, but as well in real estate and property by buying some properties, like you remember the Lugoa land and so on, and as well as buying so many other stocks elsewhere in the world. For example, in the Dar es Salaam exchange, they have bought shares in several companies. On the Nairobi Stock Exchange, still NSSF has quite a number of shares there in some of the companies, and this way they use your savings to accumulate more funds, and those funds are given back to you at the NSSF pensioner interest on your pension or on your saving for retirement. So this is exactly what we are talking about on the program: savings working for you, savings working for your interest without your input. Because when you put your money there, you don't have to go and run Umeme at the end of the day. You just have to wait for Umeme to make a profit, and when Umeme does make a profit, they give you a dividend. And this year, as we have seen, Umeme is going to give NSSF a dividend of 73.2 billion. That's a lot of money right there in terms of dividend to NSSF. And NSSF, why it's getting this share, it has one of the biggest shares in Umeme, with over 23.2% ownership of given the listed shares for Umeme. So yes, that's a story right there. We'll be following up with a couple of more stories coming up in the next half of the hour. It is exactly 55 minutes past 10 a.m. My name is Anthony, and I am your host. We'll be right back after the short break.